How did Singapore become so rich? Hello friend, welcome to my Seek Information channel, and today I'm going to be sharing the top 6 facts about how Singapore became one of the most developed countries in the world. Singapore is a small island nation in Southeast Asia with a population of just over 5 million people. Despite its size, Singapore has become a global economic powerhouse and is consistently ranked as one of the most developed countries in the world. Do you know that Singapore has the highest per capita gross domestic product in the world? This means that, on average, each person in Singapore earns more money than any other person in any other country. Number 1. Changes between 1965 to 2022 in Singapore. 1. What is the change between 1965 to 2022 in Singapore? There have been many changes in Singapore between 1965 and 2022. Some of the most significant changes include: economic development. Singapore has undergone rapid economic development since independence in 1965, transforming from a developing country to a prosperous, high-income economy. Population growth. The population of Singapore has more than doubled since 1965, from about 1.9 million in 1965 to about 5.7 million in 2020. Urbanization. Singapore has become increasingly urbanized, with a large portion of the population living in high-rise apartments and condominiums. Infrastructure. Singapore has developed a modern and efficient infrastructure, including roads, public transportation, and telecommunications. Technology. Singapore has embraced technology and is now a leading hub for tech innovation in Southeast Asia. Education. The education system in Singapore has undergone significant reforms, resulting in high levels of literacy and a highly educated workforce. Cultural diversity. Singapore is a diverse and multicultural society, with a mix of different ethnicities and cultures coexisting peacefully. Environmental sustainability. Singapore has made efforts to become more environmentally sustainable, including through the development of green buildings and the promotion of clean energy. 2. Who was main leader who built the nation? Singapore's founding father and main leader who helped build the country into what it is today is Lee Kuan Yew. Lee served as the Prime Minister of Singapore from 1959 to 1990 and played a key role in the country's rapid economic development. Under Lee's leadership, Singapore transformed from a developing country with limited resources into a prosperous and thriving nation with a strong economy and high standard of living. Lee implemented a series of economic and social policies that helped to modernize and industrialize the country, and his leadership had a lasting impact on Singapore's development. When Singapore got independence. Singapore was a British colony before it gained independence in 1965. During the time when it was a colony, it was ruled by the British government and administered by a governor appointed by the British monarchy. The country's laws were based on British common law, and the government was modeled after the Westminster parliamentary system. Singapore was a British colony for about a century and a half, from the early 19th century until 1965. It was first established as a trading post by the British East India Company in 1819, and became a crown colony in 1867. It remained a British colony until it gained independence in 1965, at which point it became a sovereign nation with its own government and laws. Number 3. What's GDP size of Singapore have? Singapore's GDP, gross domestic product, was estimated to be around $356.5 billion in 2021. This makes it one of the wealthiest countries in the world, with a high standard of living and a strong economy. Singapore's GDP per capita is also one of the highest in the world, at around $93,000. The country's GDP has consistently grown over the past few decades, and it is expected to continue to do so in the future. What does major economic Singapore have? Singapore is a major economic hub in Southeast Asia and is known for its diverse and advanced economy. The country has a strong focus on exports and international trade, and is home to many multinational corporations. Singapore's main industries include manufacturing, finance, and tourism. The country is also a leading global center for shipping and transportation, with one of the busiest ports in the world. Other important sectors in Singapore's economy include biomedical sciences, information technology, and education. Number 4. How housing business work in Singapore? The housing market in Singapore is a significant contributor to the country's economy. The government plays a central role in the housing market through the Housing and Development Board, HDB, which is responsible for building and selling public housing to Singaporeans. HDB flats make up the majority of the housing market in Singapore, and there is a high demand for these affordable homes. In addition to HDB flats, there is also a private housing market in Singapore, which includes condominiums, apartments, and landed properties such as terraced houses and bungalows. There are many housing developers in Singapore that build and sell both public and private housing, and the housing market is an important sector of the country's economy. Number 5. Interesting fact about Singapore Airport. Singapore has one main international airport, Singapore Changi Airport, which is one of the busiest and most modern airports in the world. The airport serves more than 100 airlines and handles over 100 million passengers every year. Singapore Changi Airport has a reputation for being efficient, clean, and well organized, and it has won numerous awards for its services and facilities. One of the unique features of Singapore Changi Airport is its wide range of amenities and attractions, including gardens, a swimming pool, a cinema, and a butterfly garden. The airport also has a wide range of dining and shopping options, as well as comfortable lounges for travelers to relax in. Know about Singapore Airlines. Singapore Airlines is the national airline of Singapore and is known for its high quality of service and extensive network of international routes. The airline has a reputation for being one of the best in the world, and it has won numerous awards for its services. Singapore Airlines is known for its luxurious first and business class cabins, which have private suites and beds, as well as excellent food and entertainment options. The airline is also known for its innovative approach to customer service, with a focus on providing a personalized and comfortable travel experience for its passengers. Number 6. Do you know why Singapore is most expensive city to buy car in world? Why? There are several factors that contribute to Singapore being one of the most expensive cities in the world to buy a car. Some of the main reasons include Limited land availability. Singapore is a small city-state with limited land availability, which drives up the cost of land and housing. This also applies to the cost of car ownership, as there is limited space for parking and storing cars. High taxes. Singapore has high taxes on luxury goods, including cars, which makes them more expensive to purchase. Cost of living. Singapore has a high cost of living, with prices for goods and services generally being higher than in other countries. This includes the cost of buying a car. Demand. There is strong demand for cars in Singapore, which can drive up prices. Limited supply. The number of cars that can be imported into Singapore is limited, which can affect the supply and demand balance and contribute to higher prices. Congestion. Singapore is a densely populated city, and traffic congestion is a common issue. This can make car ownership less attractive and drive down demand, which can in turn lead to higher prices for cars. It's worth noting that while Singapore is generally considered to be one of the most expensive cities in the world to buy a car, the cost of car ownership can vary depending on a number of factors such as the type of car, the model, and the age of the vehicle. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like my video, please don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button before you go. Also comment if have any suggestion and also in next video what topic you want to see. Have a wonderful day to you all.